All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, all that time never really knowing just how blind I've been.
Om Shanti is the first mantra of Raj Yoga. We have quite a lot of mantras, and each one takes us a little bit further ahead. And it is said Om Shanti is the beginning and also the end. So we start with our identity, and then we explore what it really is. And then we end up with our identity. Who gives you your identity? And that is the one who is called Deeparaj. So Deeparaj means the king of the flames. And each one's identity as a spiritual being is a flame, as you saw in the video where Dadi Janki was speaking. And Diwali is also called the Deepamala. And you can see all around the room, there is a string of lights, like a necklace where each one is lit. And this is Deepmala, the rosary of lights. And in India, when the Diwali is celebrated, so individually you light candles like this, and you can see that from your angle you can't see, but if you would be above it, you would see it's a circle of lights. And so this is also a small rosary. This other one is a big one. And each light represents one person who is in a state of enlightened consciousness. And the process of reaching a world, a community where everyone is in a state of enlightenment, that process we call the practice of Raj Yoga and the study of spiritual knowledge. Because to be fully aware and awake and in your power as a being who is the quintessence of peace and love and purity and beauty and sweetness, happiness. This doesn't happen just like that. How does it happen? We have to connect ourselves in relationship with Deeparaj, the King of Lights. And you see this picture over here behind these two stands with the lights. So this is the picture of the Supreme Light. And the light of the Spirit is much smaller than a candle or than the oval form that represents it. The light is infinitesimally small, smaller than the most distant star in the sky at night. So small that it has no physical measurement, because it isn't physical. It is the form of the Spirit, a tiny infinitesimal point of light. And so we can represent it by something bigger or by a flame, but we can understand it as what it is because we understand what an infinitesimal point of light will be like. And it contains the infinite. That means we must stretch our consciousness from the infinitesimal to the infinite. And this process of stretching the consciousness and transcending our limitations in so many ways, on so many levels, is the practice of spirituality. The practice of yoga is about that. And it is done in the context of each other. So we are these invisible, infinitesimal beings of light who had forgotten ourselves. And so it is a process of remembering who we are. And by remembering who we are, we become who we really are. It is also a process of going from completely old and dead and worn out, spent, corrupted, to such an extent that humanity itself lost its essence. From that condition, we come to the state of perfected beings, each one pure, each one alive, awake, aware, knowing who you are. You find yourself. You know yourself. And you know yourself because you know the King of Lights, that one who is the source of wisdom, the source of light, and who is also called the purifier. So we had been polluted by sorrow, and we had been diminished by following our reactions to negative situations, and in so doing, adding to the negativity. And this is the story of what happens to humanity after some time. But this day on which we are celebrating Diwali, the lighting of the flames, is also part of a more extended few days of festivities. And this day is called the New Year's Day. So New Year's Day in the world we come from outside these doors is 1st of January, but New Year, according to a different calendar, is today. And New Year has a lot of symbolic meaning. New Year means new life. So when the soul has become practically dead, you can't be totally dead because the soul is eternal. And the light of the soul can get very dim, but it can never be extinguished. Still, we don't want to be dim lights. We want to be in our full potential, containing the fragrance of all the qualities of the spirit, the beauty, the sweetness, the love, the inner power that allows us to be true to ourselves, to be completely there for each other, and to perceive each other as everyone is, to see the essence and to relate, seeing that. In the world of darkness, we project on each other all sorts of unrealities. And so it is called the dark world or the world of falsehood, sometimes called the darkness of ignorance, because we don't know who we are. We definitely don't know who the next person is. Isn't it like that? But Diwali means that all that becomes a thing of the past. And you saw in the footage that went with Dadi Janki's words that before Diwali, there are other festivals. And immediately before Diwali, there is Dashera, which is the festival of the destruction of negativity. And negativity gets destroyed by fire. Not that fire that California was roasting in some time ago until the rain came and sorted things out. But it is a fire of love, a fire of true love, a fire of spiritual love for the self, for the Supreme Spirit, and for the other spirits. There's a fire. And in Diwali, the lights are lit outside. And in India, in November, the weather is pretty nice, warm and pleasant, not too hot. And so you see these rows of diyas, these little earthenware lamps, and they stay until there's no more oil left. But people keep putting more and more oil to keep the flame burning. And who gets attracted? The moths. Moths cannot stay away from bright light. And so the moth has also its own symbolic value. The moth is drawn to the light to such an extent, with so much attraction to that light, that it will die on that light. And then you see in the morning all the dead moths around the extinguished candles. What does this mean? It means the death of ego. Because what is our problem? It's just the ego, isn't it? Is it? What do you think? I don't think there's really too much else that gets us into trouble. And what is ego? It is something we do that hides us from ourselves and makes us think that something that's covering our truth is more true than our truth. Of course, it isn't, but somehow we get deluded into thinking that. And it's global. And it's been going on for millennia. So how to come out of that, this requires wisdom. And the source of wisdom is this very same Deep Raj, the King of Lights, who comes to us and says, "Hey, dim lit lights, come and let's sit and talk about things." And first of all, we get our identity. You are the light. You are not this ego covering. You are not your costume, your performance, your face, your social position, your bank balance, your education. None of this is you. This is all equipment for your performance. But an actor who forgets to be an actor and thinks that the act he or she is playing is for real, they get in trouble, right? That's what happened. So the great teacher, the great source of wisdom says, let me tell you who you are. And let me tell you who am I to you. I am the purifier, the source of light, the source of wisdom, the source of power. I am the most reliable thing there is. Nothing else is reliable. I am reliable. So rely on me. And there is a mantra called Mamekam Sharanam Vraj. You might have heard this before. And it means take refuge in me alone, because I am your source, I am your protector, I am your guide, and I will take you from your dimly lit state to full potential, full glory of who you are, and you will know who you are. You will experience the wonder of reconnecting with yourself, and you will feel the reality of who you are and know the beauty and speciality of yourself. And you will become like fragrant roses, like jasmine, like this wonderful flower called the Queen of the Night, fragrant at nighttime. You become like this, and your fragrance is your beauty, your qualities, your love, your sweetness. And as your light gets bright through contact with the Supreme Light, Deep Raj, who we also call Shiv Baba, you must know that word very well. And you become lighter and lighter and brighter, and also more weightless, because the darkness of negativity is heavy. Do you sometimes feel heavy? That's that pressure, dark pressure. So as you take light, as you take power, that heaviness is dissipated, and darkness can only be there when there isn't light. And as your light intensifies, the darkness fades like the dawn as the sun rises. The night fades away and there is no night because there is light. So in humanity, when it reaches its darkest hour, Deep Raj comes, because that light is visible in the darkest night. And when the night is really dark and there is a light in the sky, your eyes go there. You cannot focus on the dark. You just go naturally to the light and you stay with the light. And when you connect with the light, you feel secure. And you begin to drink into your spirit the qualities of the light, the power of that light. And you begin to change the quality of your being. I said before that we are going from very, very old and dead and worn out to something new. Now, nothing goes from old to new. It doesn't happen. But we have to go from old to new. So the whole process of time, of entropy, of aging, all that has to be reversed. Who can do that? Who is more powerful than time itself? Who can undo the effect of deterioration? You don't find that in this world. So many people would like to become younger, but who can actually become younger? The soul itself is forever. And there has to be this moment of rapid restoration of the soul from the dark, dim state of self-loss to the bright state of finding yourself, retrieving all your original qualities, your original wisdom, your original purpose, and the significance of your existence. This is given back to you by the Supreme Light. And this is also called your inheritance, because after all, we are children of the Supreme Spirit. And so the sons, the spirits don't have genders, right? They're just light. So there's no gender in the light. There's no color in the light. Lights are just light. There's no language in the light of shining. That's your language, to shine and be beautiful. So your inheritance is the wisdom that is contained within that being of light. And so we become students, lights who study. Amazing. Because it is intelligent lights, lights with minds, lights with hearts, lights with intelligence to absorb truth and to become the most wonderful beings that ever existed from something like dead leaves. But just as the seasons change, and after the winter, you get the spring and everything comes up again. When that sun of knowledge touches us and ignites our light, then we also flourish and we become the extraordinary beings of the future. The present world is very harsh for many people. Not enough money, not feeling of safety, trouble in the home, trouble at work, trouble in the roads and streets, the climate disturbs. Everything seems to be collapsing. It's very difficult. People feel uncertainty. And behind that, this light is intensifying. And each light, each soul who wakes up and starts to absorb the strength, the clarity, the wisdom, and find again your meaning and your purpose, and see the light of your sisters and brothers, and recognize, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be a descendant of God, a student of God, a moon that reflects the light of that sun? I see. So it gives us this very broad and rich identity, and gives us this inheritance of wisdom and wonder. And he says, all I need from you, just shine. Just shine, because the night is dark and people need that light. They need your light, and you reflect his light. His light is invisible. You become the moons who reflect the light of the sun. No one can really look directly at the sun, not more than a second or more. But when the full moon is there, what do? You sit under a tree and you watch the moon. And if there is someone who sings well, they sing. And you begin to remember all the possibilities. So when you become moons like this, reflect that sun, then everyone can forget and get past their distress and come into the light and be one with the light, be part of the light, be part of the future, and experience that freedom and oneness, seeing what's real, though intangible, invisible, but so much more real than the tangible things that are falling apart in front of us. So this is Diwali, and the festival that comes before Dashera, which Daddy Janki was mentioning about, that is called Navaratri, 9 nights where the people dance and worship the goddesses all night. And these goddesses are amazing women who are very seriously weaponized. They have good weapons, ancient weapons, but they're secret weapons as well. The goddesses have swords, tridents, bowls of blood. One of them has a skirt made of cut off arms and a necklace made of cut off heads. That's pretty fierce. And these goddesses, they're sitting on lions and tigers who are also pretty fierce. You wouldn't easily be able to sit with all your weapons on a lion without it getting out of hand, but they handle these lions very well. And they have secret weapons. And one of the secret weapons is a rosary. You can imagine that a rosary would be a weapon, could you? Don't look like a weapon. How is it a weapon? Rosary has many meanings, and one of them is this deep mala, the rosary of lights. And so when you are part of a rosary of lights, you're not alone. And there is great power in numbers. There's also a weapon. The rosary is made of beads, and the one who is using the rosary, they're turning the beads one after the other after the other. And each bead represents an enlightened being who is filled with wisdom. So when you're turning the beads that represent enlightened beings who are full of wisdom, you're taking their wisdom into you, the wisdom of the ancestors. And these deep and wise aspects of understanding make you invincible. All you have to do is keep your mind circling around aspects of wisdom, aspects of understanding what your identity is, and never letting go of who you are and what you represent. You are invincible. It's a good weapon. Very good weapon. Another excellent weapon is a flame. The goddesses have just a flame in one of their hands, just a flame. Normally a flame has to be connected with a wick, but their flame is just flame by itself. And what is a flame by itself? It is the soul, independent of any fuel, independent of the body. It's the completely bodiless soul in its perfect form. And when you adopt that level of consciousness, no one can do anything to you because you are the force, you are the light. And when you shine very bright in the eyes of no matter how many tigers, what do? They go the other way. The most dangerous thing cannot stand in front of a very bright light. You paralyze any form of negativity and make it fade away. Very simple. This is non-violent fierceness. Do you like that? Try that. Anytime any problem comes, just use your weapons and make everything go where it has to go. You are the light. You are the flower. This is a weapon, the flower. We have flowers here, so many flowers, but the serious flower to use is called the lotus flower. You may have seen the lotus flower. Very nice, usually pink, and it comes up from the water, which is usually really horrible, dirty, stagnant, nasty, slimy water. That's the world. And you are up above, looking so beautiful, and it is the symbol of detachment. You are in all of this, but you're not part of it. You're not it. You are independent. You're free. You are on another level. This is a weapon because no one can, send anything nasty to you. If you throw dirty water on a lotus, it would just fall off. Like they say, water off a duck's back. So any insult, any problem, any nasties that come your way, doesn't matter. Falls away, doesn't do anything. You just carry on being beautiful and reflecting the sunshine. So these are weapons. So during this period of 9 nights, you are accumulating wisdom, good skill in the use of all these weapons. You can handle your lions and tigers and everything. They become your friends. And there you are, the masters. And then all negativity gets burned. And all that's left is gold. You know that. It's a very interesting story. When this figure of Ravan is burnt, then there's just gold everywhere. So that's quite nice. You like gold? It's nice, no? Pretty and has value. And so there is a great wealth that comes to you that is the consequence of the diligence and the attention and the study and the practice that you do during the dark time, and you become the light. And what does the world become? Like a golden land where the birds and the flowers and the trees and the water and the wind, everything is totally beautiful and totally for you. And that is, Diwali marks the beginning of that. So New Year means this new age. And so all the things what we do quietly inside all results in that. So I just wanted to share with you some of these jewels and why we celebrate this, what it means. And so carry how it looks and also carry the meaning. So let us have just a few moments of quiet, and we will just practice being the light. Just imagine in the center of your forehead a very tiny light. So tiny, but so powerful. Just pull yourself above your body and let your body just sit there, and you are floating, tiny light floating above your body and shifting yourself into a dimension of light beyond. And in that world of light, you meet Deepraj, the King of Lights. You are just the light in front of that intensely bright light. Send a ray of light to that one and see rays of light from that one connecting with you, coming to you like a handshake of light rays. Feel the glow, the energy, the resonance of harmony that flows through that ray and fills your soul with beauty. Take that light, take that strength, take that feeling of harmony, that vibration of purity into yourself. And feel all the fragmented parts of your being coming together, becoming like a most beautiful kaleidoscope of virtues and qualities. And you are becoming your real self. The light. Then come gently back to the world of sight and sound, keeping that feeling, that energy, that love with you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, God, for loving me for all time, throughout eternity, from one lifetime till the next, till all the souls are free, till all the souls are free. I want to see you in the morning sun. I want to see you in the evening star. I called you Father, 'cause I was told, but now I know, 'cause you came to me in a dream, or so it seems, and left me wondering if it was really you. I only know one thing: as I approach the golden stairs, I'm prepared to take the steps that lead me to you. Today we wore that beautiful dress of light, the light of love, the light of beauty. And do you all feel comfortable in your own light? Yeah? Cool. Right? And then we are going to share the sweets, right? The sweetness in your expression, sweetness in the way you interact with people, with your words, with your eyes, with your every gesture that you interact. Isn't that beautiful? And thank God for all his light and divinity. And now we'll continue this journey of beautiful experience with a beautiful blessing that we can take home. Till all the souls are free, till all the souls are free, till all the souls are free. You and me,